Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back with a video. Obviously, this is part two of my philanthropic ideals or goals. Hope you checked out part one and enjoyed it. If not, please check it out, and I hope you will enjoy it. I appreciate any likes or sharing the video and support and that sort of thing. So yeah, as I say, this is continuing on from part one, and I often do these sort of strange list videos. So anyway, I hope someone out there enjoys these videos, including this one, of course. And I can't think of much else to say in the intro, so I'm just going to crack on with this list, continuing on, as I say, from part one. I'll break up into three parts because I don't want the videos to be too long, so that's the reason why I do that. Another thing is, like, sometimes I have to think about what ideas I want to cover. So anyway, without further ado, I shall crack on with the list. So number 11, I dream to have, I have this sort of vision for like an investment vehicle in my mind's eye or imagination. It's like Cascade Investments, which was founded by and is run by Bill Gates, I believe, and Berkshire Hathaway, which is a company run by Warren Buffett, and companies like that, which invest, like Bridgewater, which is run by Ray Dalio, and companies like that coming together to invest in these sort of projects or things I talked about before, like developing countries, emerging markets, countries that have been colonized and things like that. And I dream that they would be able to get tax exemptions for that. Maybe like organizations like the UN or others could look at how to give them tax breaks for investing in Africa and Asia and other places like Latin America, places like that, especially Native American communities and that sort of thing, like as a form of reparations. And also, I'd love to encourage that company to be put together and invest in various things, which I hope to cover. So on that note, number 12, I also hope they will invest in dyslexic people around the world, especially in those countries I talked about across Asia and Africa, and talking about how dyslexic abilities in like creativity, innovation, out of the box thinking, and that sort of thing, even though we're not the best academically. I know I've mentioned this a few times, but I love organizations maybe even to work with this investment vehicle, which would invest, as I say, in dyslexic entrepreneurs, especially in Africa and Asia and places like that, to network together as well around the world, and like encourage people to mentor Africa and Asia's dyslexics, and maybe like Native Americans and indigenous people from Australasia could learn about dyslexia as well, and test a few people to like see if any Native American or Aboriginal or Maori people have got dyslexia as well, and how they could use their creativity to benefit their communities in those developing countries, and also or communities, and also groups that have been colonized, and how that can make a positive. So I hope that made sense, I'll say. But yeah, so made by dyslexia, and the Dyslexic Advantage and organizations like that, looking at how dyslexics can contribute to emerging markets and, as I say, colonized countries, developing countries, and that sort of thing. Number 13, as I said before, as a bias, I would love to encourage this investment vehicle, or as many companies as possible, big businesses and wealthy individuals, to invest in Italian football. And I'd love to see Italian football have as much money as possible, like from the grassroots all the way to Serie A and like the top teams mainly, or vice versa, like from the top teams and even like the grassroots, like investing in football pitches, stadiums, and different companies like Pepsi or Coca-Cola, Lucozade, Red Bull, and companies like that, making their own leagues and their own teams, and also like investing in spaces for sports, like investing in parks and training facilities, and even creating football or soccer academies for Italian football in like the Americas, or included, and Asia and Africa, and again, what I call the six, but also, as I mentioned before in some other videos, and also, as I say, even I think it would be an interesting project if, as I say, they had soccer academies not just in Africa and Asia, but also for indigenous people from the Americas, Native Americans, and indigenous people from all over the Americas, as well as Australasia. Again, I hope that made sense. Number 14, I'd love to have similar things, similar investments for Celtic as well. I think that would be slightly more ethical, because Celtic does quite a lot of ethical work, as far as I'm aware, in Africa and Asia, and even in Glasgow itself, where it's based. And but I think it'd be great to see them have academies again, just like I would love to see for Italian football. I'd love to see them have academies for Indigenous people from the Americas and Aborigines, as well as Africa and Asia, and Latin America and places like that. So hopefully that would be a mutually beneficial thing to benefit people from those communities, but also benefit Celtic through having better players in the future as well. And I'd love to see Celtic have as much money as possible, just like Italian football. But I hope that money will be invested well in whatever costs are needed for a football club. So like maybe 10% could go into youth development, like football pitches, footballs, training equipment, things like that. Another 10% could go into like marketing, and buying new players and things like that, or that sort of thing. And then whatever costs are involved in running a football club. But I think like 10% should be reinvested into youth development, 10% into buying new players, and maybe 10% of that of the money that Celtic get could go towards charity, and especially half of that could go towards developing countries like in Asia and Africa and those places I talked about before, and half could go like locally to the deprived groups in Glasgow, which does have a lot of depravity as well. So could go towards helping homeless people in Glasgow and around the world. I say Glasgow because it's quite a poor area, and also it's where Celtic is based. But even like places like Ireland, which Celtic has a lot of roots which come from Ireland, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I'd love to see that sort of thing developed, and I'd love to share my ideas in the future with Italian football and Celtic, and like how they can connect together and bridge them together, but also like building bridges generally, and also helping them to network together, as I say, and also helping them to help charities as well. So hopefully it'll be mutually beneficial for Italian football, Celtic, and for charity as well for these developing countries. Number 15, again, what I call the 4 or the 6 now. I hope they will network together and share ideas and share goals together, and look at what they can teach each other and learn from each other and that sort of thing. So how they can benefit each other, and how we can make the world a better place. On that note, number 16, I hope to look at ways to make the world a better place. And again, listen to your ideas and any ideas I can, which can look at how to make the world a better place for all possible people and living things like animals and nature, and planting more trees and looking after the world, making it a better place as much as possible. Even if I am fighting a losing battle, at least give it my best shot, and make the most of opportunities and that sort of thing. Number 17, again, I'd love to see organisations come together which look at the positive sides of dyslexia and how dyslexics can contribute to Italian football and Celtic and developing countries, like countries in Asia and Africa and those other groups I talked about before. Number 18, again, hope to look at how investments can make the world a better place, and also like encourage people like from Africa and Asia to set up their own businesses and look at how to learn to grow their own business and become self-reliant, so they're not reliant on aid or anything like that, but like can cut crime as well, and just like work together to make a proud and honest living as well. And again, just generally disadvantaged people generally as well around the world, like disabled people and other groups like that. Number 19, I'd love to help African software developers. And number 20, especially young African software developers and female African software developers, and again, Aborigines and Maoris in that area as well. So I hope that all made sense, and as ever, I'd love to hear your questions, comments, queries, or anything else that you want to post, and please do share your likes and share the video, especially with people from Africa and Asia, but also around the world who want to see the world become a better place. And hopefully if they help me, I can grow my channel, and again, like if I raise any money, I can donate to parts of Africa and Asia. And sorry if I was speaking really fast. I just don't want the video to be too long. So anyway, I'm out. Peace and love.